Hi everyone, welcome back to Venus on the Half Shell. This is Chef Gigi. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're talking about sugar. And so there are two main sources of sugar: sugar cane, sugar beet. Sugar cane grows primarily in, well, it does grow in hot, traditionally humid climates. So Fiji, Hawaii, hot climates. And sugar beet is used in colder areas traditionally, and beets are grown in the ground, and so they were harder to process. Sugar cane, when it was first fabricated hundreds of years ago and started being harvested by Europeans and brought back to Europe, it's a really brutal industry, the history of it. So it's sugarcane plantations, very, very hard, brutal work. But sugarcane grows 10 to 12 feet high. It's a stalk. It has a very hard, tough exterior, and that must be peeled back. And then the interior is, these days, it goes through processing, which is all machinery, and it's removing the outer stalk. But the reason it's white is that it's being tumbled around just like a gemstone or a stone, with traditionally bone char. So bones, animal bones that have been charred, charcoaly. And so this is why many vegans don't eat white sugar. So instead you can buy an unrefined sugar. This is also sugar cane sugar, but you can tell it has a little bit of a creamy natural color to it, as opposed to the white sugar. And so this is vegan friendly. It hasn't been bleached, basically, and so you have to check out the different sugars these days, because there are processes that aren't using bone char, but many different sugars still are using, so many granulated white sugars are using bone char. Oh, I had walnuts in here for a different video. But brown sugar is basically white sugar with molasses added. I don't have any molasses, but molasses is the residual syrup used from refining white sugar. So in North America, we use it a lot in everything from Boston baked beans to many breads. And it has a fall flavor to it. It's a nice, it's used in gingerbread loaf cake or a gingerbread cookie mix. And so it's basically the leftovers from cooking sugar and refining it. And so brown sugar, you can buy in generally dark brown sugar or light brown sugar, but it's only the syrup of molasses added to the white sugar. And that's why it clumps together, and because it has a syrup added. So you can make your own at home for sure. Or if you're out of molasses and you have a recipe and you want to use it, you could add some molasses. Honey is, well, this is a different story. Honey and maple syrup are your only two sugars, unrefined, unprocessed sugars. So people eating a very healthy sort of, well, many people don't eat sugar at all, but if you want to eat unrefined sugars, choose honey or molasses. This is your powdered or your icing sugar. Icing sugar, term is used probably more in Europe, but it's simply your granulated sugar, just like in almost a centrifuge, which is a huge machine that's going to spin it around in a factory. It's just powdering it. And so it's dusting sugar, it's icing sugar, and it's generally used for finishing work, for the effect of how it looks on something. It can also be used in many recipes, though. So Mexican wedding cookies, kind of maybe some pound cakes, shortbreads. It can be used in a lot of different things. It's just good to know about your ingredients. And then this is light corn syrup. You have dark corn syrup, you have light corn syrup, you have high fructose corn syrup, which everybody is talking about because of the health properties, or lack thereof. And so marketing is interesting because this is saying it has 0% high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup was developed, I think, in the sort of early 70s as a way. Corn at that time was America's #1 product that was being harvested. So we had so much corn, the government subsidized, which means they paid back the farmers for it. And as a way to make money from those crops, the process of corn syrup was developed, which is pressing the corn in, huge quantities to extract the sugars and liquid sugars. And a lot of nutritionists and food writers say that, I want to say America's kind of a problem with health and obesity, and but now really much of the world, because fast food is everywhere, that high fructose corn syrup was used. It was a cheaper alternative sugar than your granulated sugars, because it was cheaper to produce and you already had corn. And so it was thrown into everything. And so your fast food, like everything from breads, from high fructose corn syrup is in many, many ingredients, but now there's a worry about it. And so it's been taken out of a lot, but corn syrup is still being used. And it, in like a lot of mass-produced baked goods, without naming names, but like a lot of shelf-stable that have a long shelf life of breads and pastries, high fructose corn syrup will be added, and it's going to prolong the shelf life in those products. It will also aid in browning of some baked goods. And so it has a lot of variety of usages, and it's also in your sodas, not your brand name sodas, but cheaper knockoff sodas. The sodas that you're going to buy at an AM/PM mini market. Nothing against AM/PM mini market, guys, but I'm just using you as an example. No disclaimer again, disclaimer against any brand names, but I'm just saying that even in movie theaters, when you're going and you're getting a soda from where you're pressing the soda up yourself and getting it, what's actually coming out is your syrup, your colored syrup, mixed with carbonated water. And so that's coming out. And that's why actually a brand name soda is more expensive. It's still not great for you at all. But there you have it. So those are your sugars, and I also threw in some soda along the way. And I appreciate any feedback. And anyway, I don't know who is that interested in sugar to this degree. But it's fun to make the video, and I really appreciate all of you. And thanks for stopping by. And you're all amazing, and stay strong out there and follow your passions and do your thing. Be yourself. Everybody else is already taken. So be yourself. Stay true to who you are, and don't sell out. You know, don't. Everybody does to some degree, right? Because we're all navigating life and we're doing what we need to do to get by. But remember who you wanted to be. And that saying for me always meant and does mean, you know, we are all to some degree compromising some values. Sometimes we're doing what we need to do to get through the day, to get ahead, to take care of ourselves, our families, our loved ones. But don't live a lie. Like, completely. Don't. Stay true to who you are. Remember who you wanted to be. You know, remember your very best motivations in what you chose to do. And a lot of us didn't even maybe have a passion about what we were choosing to do, you know, in life or in our decision making. But we made decisions, and at the time that we made those decisions, it was the best decision possible, you know. And once we know better, we need to do better. Once we've thought, okay, are those really my values? Then we need to rethink it. So I don't know if any of that's, you know, resonating for anybody out there. But anyway, stay sweet and stay strong. You're all amazing. Take care. Ciao. At Venus on the Half Shell. Over and out. Thanks for stopping by. Ciao. Bye-bye and take care.